It's Alexis Hasselberger, time management and productivity coach. So, have you ever had a task? Maybe it's one of those someday maybe projects. It's something big, and it's too big, and so you keep pushing it off. And you keep pushing it off. And it still hangs out there because it's something that you want to do. It's something that you think you should do. It's something you think would make you feel better. But it's not like dire. It's not that important. Nobody's waiting on you. It's not a deadline situation. And so it just keeps hanging out there. And it just keeps reminding you that, if you only tried harder, you would get this done. Or if you cared more, you would get this done. It just keeps kind of sitting there reminding you of your failure. You're not a failure, but that's what it keeps reminding you of, right? And so I certainly have had tasks like this. And I figured out the way to handle them, or a way to handle them. And I want to share this with you. So, for instance, the one that I am thinking about that I'm first going to share with you is a task that I had a long time ago. Actually, not that, maybe 5 years ago or so. But here's the thing. So I love magazines, like physical paper magazines. I know that's crazy for, 2023, but I really do love magazines. Most of them are cooking related or food related. And I have been getting magazine subscriptions for 20 some years, right? And every time I get these magazines, I get excited about it and I look through them and I cut out the recipes that I want to make. And for years and years and years, I would put these in a giant accordion file and it was organized, right? It was like meat, fish, noodles, whatever. But I would put these recipes in there and then I would essentially never look at them again. Why? Because in the intervening years between when I started doing that and now, everything has gone digital. And so when I'm thinking about what I'm going to cook, I'm not like, oh, let me go to this physical folder that I have somewhere in my house. I'm, looking online, I'm looking at digital sources. And so I realized I need to digitize these recipes. But that seemed just so insurmountable, right? Like I have a life, I have a business, I have kids. By conservative estimates, I had, maybe a little under 4,000 recipes, because if we say, hey, I'm getting, 3 magazines monthly, maybe I cut out 5 recipes from each one. I've been doing that for 20 years. Like that's almost 4,000 recipes, right? So this seemed like, how could I possibly ever justify the time to get this thing done, even though it's something that I wanted to do? And so it just sat there for a long time, like a really long time. I thought about this. I think I thought about this for probably like 5 or 6 years before I ever did anything about it. But finally, I said, something's got to change. I got to deal with this. And so I decided to take an incremental approach. And so what this means was I decided I was going to devote a certain amount of time to this effort. And what was reasonable for me was 15 minutes a week. I said, I could do this for 15 minutes a week. That seems reasonable. And I'll just do it until it's done. And so I did that. And it took me almost 9 months. But what happened was every Sunday I would sit down, I would put on a podcast, I would put a timer for 15 minutes, and I would scan these recipes. I just scan, put them into my digital archive, right? Now, this was helpful too, because as I was scanning, I was also getting access to these digitally, but I would do this for 15 minutes. Maybe if I was listening to like a really good audiobook or, a really good podcast, I might go longer, but 15 minutes, timer went off, I could stop after that. And it took a long time. But eventually it was done. And now when I still get these magazines, I don't put them into this, subfolder and then later digitize them. I just digitize them right away. And this means that there's no longer this holding pattern. I've created a system of maintenance so that I don't wind up in that situation again. Right. Now, this is an approach that I've seen so many of my clients take for so many different things once we've talked about it. And so I want to give you some other ideas if you don't yet have, a project that's coming to mind in your head of like that big thing that's been kind of hanging over your head for a long time, right? So one of my clients, he really wanted to fold his clothes in the Marie Kondo style. So I don't know if you've seen this. I actually like to fold my clothes this way too. It's like a really efficient way of folding your clothes where you can actually see everything in the drawer because they're not stacked up on each other. If you're interested in that, after you watch this, just go Google Marie Kondo folding and you will get the video and you will see what we're talking about. But anyways, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to refold all of his clothes this way. But it seemed like a large undertaking and one that wasn't very important, right? So he just didn't. He just kept thinking about it, but he was never doing it. And then finally what he decided was, you know what? I'm just going to do this incrementally. When a load of laundry is done, I will fold those clothes in the new Marie Kondo style and I will put them away. And I will do this until all of my laundry however many weeks this takes for it all to be done, is folded in this new style. So yes, there will be a kind of messy middle period where some of the clothes are folded in the new style and some of the clothes are not, and that's okay. I'm just going to do it incrementally until it's done. And once he did that, he felt so much better about it. It was so much easier to maintain because he wasn't trying to take everything out and do it all at once. Oftentimes, if we think about these projects, we're like, hey, this is going to take hours. It's going to take days. It's going to take weeks. I don't have that time. So how can we do it incrementally? Now, I had another client and she decided that she was going to tackle her photos in this way. So like most of us, I assume she had a lot of like throwaway photos that, she took, her kids took, whatever, on her phone. She also had a lot of screenshots. I don't know about you, but my phone gets filled up with screenshots I take of things as well. And she decided she was running out of storage and she just did not want this clutter. Now, I will also say as an aside, I've had this problem. And when I was running out of storage, I thought about doing what I'm about to tell you, but then I decided, you know what, if I just pay Google like $20 more a year, this problem will be solved for me because that'll just increase my storage. So you don't have to go the route she did, but this is the route she wanted to go. So what she decided was that she was going to take it 5 minutes a day and she was going to do a month at a time. And so basically, September right now, she was going to say, okay, today I'm going to go look through all the photos I've taken in September, and I am going to just delete anything that I don't need. So delete those throwaway photos, delete those screenshots. And then tomorrow she'll do, 1 month back. So she'll do August, right? So she'll like, okay, tomorrow I'll go and look through August. And she did this. It took her, I don't know, a few weeks, maybe more than that, right? Depending on how many photos had been on there. And eventually it got done. And she felt really good about it because she was spending a little bit of time, making a little bit of progress, but soon enough, the whole thing got done. Now, I have another example of this. And this is actually, I think, when I realized the power of this strategy. So back when my kids were little, like I think they were around 3 and 5, we just had a house full of crap, like just so much stuff all over the place. If you have kids, it's just like, I don't know, somehow a bomb of kid stuff has gone off in your house and you just have so much stuff you don't even know where it came from, stuff that's hand-me-downs, stuff that comes in from birthday parties, gifts. Like you just acquire things and somehow you realize, oh, I'm like swimming in the sea of kid stuff. I didn't even realize it, right? So we had that situation. And I also knew that at some point in the future, we're probably going to move house, right? I didn't know when, we didn't have a plan, but I was just thinking, man, I don't want to be dealing with this then. And so I decided that I was going to declutter the house. And I didn't pick a number of minutes to spend on this each day. My kids were, again, young. I just picked 5 things a day. And I think I read about this strategy somewhere. I don't remember where. I wish I could, because then I would give them credit. But I basically said, okay, 5 things a day. I'm going to get rid of 5 things a day. Now, they can be as small as a broken pen cap. Like I see a broken pen cap, I can throw that away. That counts as one item. Or it can be as big as a piece of furniture, right? And I live in an area where I can just put a piece of furniture on the street and it will be gone, an hour later. So I said, it doesn't matter if it's big or small, just 5 things a day. And it actually took me about 9 months before I couldn't find anything else to get rid of, right? I just couldn't, there wasn't anything more. Like I looked around the house and I'm like, I can't find 5 things. That's how long it took. But surely every single day, stuff was getting out of my house, right? So some of it I gave to Goodwill, some of it was trash, but it all got out of my house. And then I said, okay, I need a maintenance system for this because I can't let this happen again. Pretty sure my kids are going to keep going to birthday parties, keep getting gifts, keep getting hand-me-downs. So how do I figure this out? And so what I did was I got a big blue bin, like a recycling bin kind of situation, that was small, like a tub, and I put it outside my front door. And now anytime I see anything in the house that I'm like, we don't need this, we don't need it at all, I just throw it in that bin. When the bin gets full, when it gets full at the top, I take the bin to Goodwill. That's it. Stuff that is broken, I just throw that away. It doesn't need to go into the bin first, right? It just goes straight into the trash. But in this way, I'm constantly decluttering with little effort, like 0 effort, maybe, 0.1 effort, right? Very little effort here. So I want to share all of these examples with you because I bet there's something in your life that fits this bill, right? I bet there's something that just feels like too big, too daunting. Like you'd feel really great if it were done, but it also doesn't have like huge consequences right now. So it doesn't feel like it's worth prioritizing. I want you to think of that one thing that you're going to tackle. And if you're willing to do it, willing to try it, tell me in the comments, right? And then tell me again once you've done it. All right. If you want to keep getting more of this content, you know where to find me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that it comes to you every week. Until next time.
Hey guys, just like she said, make sure to subscribe because only about 20% of you guys are actually subscribed that watch the videos. So if you watch the videos, might as well drop a subscribe and it will pop up more for you.